Wait, hold on. Okay, no, sorry.
All right, well, welcome back to Beck and Han. I'm Beck, that's Han, and
I'm Han.
that's right. And in today's episode, we will be covering Hannah's childhood pick, which coincidentally came out last week, and it's Taylor Swift's Speak Now, Taylor's version.
Yes. So we're kind of gonna be talking about both the OG and then covering the Taylor's version to a little bit. Does
Right.
that feel right?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
I had Rebecca listen to both, and I listened to both. I went back and listened to it, so
Oh, like that was such a
um
chore for you. I had
I
to
know.
listen to both.
I had to do it. Hold on, I'm gonna mute myself for a second because I need to cough really bad. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry. Okay.
Did you just wake
Yeah,
up?
but no, I did it. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So I had to go back and listen to it, and it was such a chore to listen to this album that I love so much. Um, but yeah, this is my um first album that I can remember. You know, like it being something that I chose to listen to and loved listening to, and would listen to top to bottom, and still love to listen to top to bottom now. Um, yeah. So we ready to get into it?
Yep.
Okay. I'm excited to hear your thoughts about it, because had you listened to it before, aside from like randomly hearing some songs?
Nope. Have not listened. This is my first time listening to it in full, but I will say a lot of these songs were on the radio, so
Yes. So you probably heard a lot of them before.
right, yeah. That's why I was like, oh yeah, I remember when this was on the radio all the time.
Oh yeah, like hearing back to December now, I'm like, oh yeah, this was all of 2010 and 2011.
Yes, I just have this like vague memory of me like in my like bed, I guess, listening to Y101, which is our one of our Central Mississippi's local radio stations, and just like hearing back to December, just being like, I like December.
And thinking about Taylor Lautner.
Right.
Thinking about Twilight. But before we start, I have some stuff, Rebecca, to follow up from last week.
Okay, okay.
Because both of your artists actually were really tied up with Taylor around the time that she wrote this album.
That's right. Tell me about it.
I didn't even realize this so much. Well, I kind of knew about Joe, but I didn't really know about Martin Johnson.
That's right.
And
We discovered that last week.
I mean, I like looked into it a little more, and people were talking about it a lot this week since Taylor's version of Speak Now came out. Oh, I had one thing I wanted to say at the beginning too, which was, a lot of my ideas for this discussion, this podcast, is from a different podcast that I listen to. They talk about all Taylor Swift albums, so I haven't listened to them this week
Wow.
because I didn't want their ideas to taint mine. So, anyway, shout out to The Ringer, every single album podcast. I will listen to you tomorrow. Anyway, back to the connection to last week. So, I have a note written that apparently Kevin and Frankie Jonas now have a reality show together. So, thanks to my friend Jay for telling me about that. And Martin Johnson, who is from your favorite childhood band, if that's an accurate statement.
I'd say it's fairly accurate.
Girls Like Boys. He claims that the song "Love Story" from Fearless was written about him.
Yes, I told you. Did I tell you about that, or did I just think I tell you about that?
I think you might have said that to me last week, and I hadn't heard it, and then I saw it floating around this week. So he thinks it is. She has not confirmed that it is.
Right.
Which, the timeline of that song, it's hard to nail down when she wrote it. It could be about anything, really.
Well,
Um,
we'll just say it's about him because I think it's more fun to say that.
you could say that, and I
Yeah,
don't mind you thinking that.
you're right. You're
I
like,
think
actually, she hasn't confirmed it, so.
I will say, who knows? But he did actually co-write If This Was a Movie, which is on the original Speak Now, but was removed from it for the Taylor's version.
Did
I
it
don't know if
come
you
out?
noticed that.
Oh, well, no, I didn't notice that.
Okay, well, she released that as a
Was it a bonus
song.
track?
Yes, it's a bonus track.
Oh, that's probably why.
She released that a couple months ago, before she announced that Speak Now was coming, to kind of get it out of the way because it was co-written. We'll get into that.
Okay.
He also wrote with her "You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home" for Hannah Montana, which
That's
I did not
right.
know that he wrote with her.
That's right. Yep.
And the other person who thinks that Love Story is about Martin Johnson is Ashley Tisdale, apparently.
Okay, I didn't know Ashley Tisdale really had a say in what.
No, wait, no, actually, I said that wrong. My note is that she says it's not about him, but he claims it is. So Ashley Tisdale says one thing, Martin says another thing. Do you side with Ashley or not, Rebecca?
Well, who does she say it's about?
I think she just says who knows who it's about. And
why is she talking about this?
I don't know. But they definitely, Martin Johnson and Taylor Swift definitely spent a lot of time together around 2008, 2009, and 2010 probably, and wrote some songs together.
He's a little older than her, so it's kind of.
Yes. Around this same time period, we had Joe Jonas and John Mayer, who's a lot older than her.
That's right. So he's probably like, it's not as bad, you guys. Just look at John Mayer.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of these songs are kind of inspired by or written about some of these guys, and we're probably not going to get into who each one is about because I don't know, and some of them I don't really care, but some of them it adds to the story.
Sure.
But yeah, that brings us to Joe, who
Jonas.
we talked about last week. Yes, Joe Jonas, who has a few songs on this album about him.
That's right. Rachel was telling me all about it today because I was reading her my notes for this podcast, and she was like telling me all these things about Joe Jonas. She's like, "Do you know who that one's about? It's about Joe Jonas." Or like, she'd be like, "That's another one about John Mayer." And I'd be like, I'm sure I'll get all this information later.
Yeah, I'm sure you will get, for sure, some of it you're gonna get. But yeah, that's all of my intro notes. I think I can kind of talk about some of this album for me,
Sure.
and then kind of some of the history of it. But yeah, like I was saying at the beginning, this is the first one that I remember, like the first album I ever remember listening to all the way through, and the first one that I cared about. I had a pink CD player in my room. I think before that I had a purple one that my sister and I shared, and it broke, and I got a new pink one in my room. And I had like one CD on it, and it was like a Christian band that my parents picked out for me, and I remember enjoying that. It was like fine. I probably had the High School Musical CDs at this point, but I don't really remember for sure, but that's probably all I was listening to. But in 2010, when this album came out, we would have been in 7th grade because this was October 2010, apparently.
Speak for yourself, I was in 5th grade.
In 5th? No, you were only 1 year behind me. You would have been 6th grade.
I would have been 11. Well, oh wait, October of 2010? That'd be 6th grade, yeah.
Yeah. 6th grade. I was in 7th, and my class sat in the middle of the stage in the gym. There were bleachers, there's the stage, there's the gym. Before school, we sat on the stage, which the middle part was the worst. I don't know why they made us sit there because the kids would play basketball, and I was always really afraid I was going to get hit by a basketball. But, you know, amidst all that fear, one of my friends started telling me about this album that just came out and she was listening to, and how she was going to burn CDs for some other people. And I wanted one. I was like, I've heard of this Taylor girl.
I'm calling the cops.
She does that. No.
It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that South Park episode where like they try to pirate music and the police take them. They're like, it'd be right for you to be like, "There's Taylor Swift. She can't buy the $50 million jet she wanted. She can only buy the $48 million jet. All because you didn't buy her album. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry."
I know, it's like Taylor would be so mad at me if she knew I pirated her album. You wouldn't. You wouldn't download a car. I sure would. But yeah, she pirated that. No, wait, she burned it, and I pirated the CD for me, and that was how I listened to Taylor for the first time. And then after that, I started putting her songs on my iPod, and my parents took me to see the Speak Now World Tour on my 13th birthday.
Wow.
So that might come in. I know it was a big moment.
That's so long ago.
So long ago. That was 2011. Not to age myself. But yeah, so some of that, I was listening to some of these songs today, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to tell Beck on the pod about what that was like at tour, from what I can remember. Just not much. But yeah, so it was a really good time. I peaked at 13, and then it's been
It's all downhill
from there, except for the good Taylor music we've gotten since then.
Well, now I was gonna make a joke about how now all your personality is Taylor Swift and Enneagrams.
Stop. Call me out. Hey, I didn't know about the Enneagram back then.
That's true.
But yeah, this album came out in 2010. This is a Taylor's response to a lot of things kind of album. She got criticized for her singing voice, which is what Mean is about.
Right. I heard.
Yeah, you heard. And then she also a lot of people criticized her success for Fearless because it was, I think at the time, the most successful country album like ever, or at least by a woman. And then for Speak Now, they were like, man, this girl don't write her own songs, and which is for Taylor like a pretty big criticism, because she writes all of her music. She at least has a writing credit on, and so when it came to Speak Now, she was like, I'm just gonna write all of these songs by myself, and get vocal lessons, which she confirmed in her most recent release that she had vocal lessons after Fearless because of the criticism. So this album was kind of a big response to a lot of things that were happening in her life, including Joe Jonas and John Mayer and Kanye West, and
that's right.
And also, she was, it's really hitting me listening to the Taylor's version of it that she was 19 when she wrote a lot of this. And I don't know about you, Becca, but I can remember being 19 and it's a weird time in your life when you're an adult, but you're not. She
captures it very well on this album.
Yes, I agree with that. And I think that it didn't, when I heard it when I was 12, I didn't know that's what it was about. And then now at 25, I can say yeah, that's definitely what the feeling was like.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't know about the vocal lessons thing. I always wanted to take vocal lessons as a kid, but I always hated the warm-ups. And I was so embarrassed of having to do those in front of my mom, or in front of in front of a teacher, but especially my mom. So I never did vocal lessons, even though I really wanted to as a kid.
You didn't want to do the the Sharpay Evans
No, I did not. I did not want to sing my vowels. I did not want to hee hee ha ha ho ho poo or whatever.
You never did.
Even in choir, I would just not. I would I'd mumble my way through it.
That's really funny.
Except in elementary school choir, we did Cows on Roller Coasters. That was a fun one.
Cows on roller coasters?
Yeah, you go. Moo. Or zebras on slingshots. Zia.
That's so funny. I've never heard of that. I love that.
Uh, Anyways, I'm sorry that was off track, but I just wanted to throw that in there because I thought it'd be
No, that was
funny.
good. I'm glad that you said that.
Now you can do cows on roller coasters before you go into like your sessions or something.
Yeah, that's gonna be my vocal
Before
warm up.
before you go sing in the car, just make sure before next time we see each other before we get into 3435, we have to do our cows on roller coasters and zebras on slingshots.
Like, all right, that. Let me pause this song really quick.
And we'd
It's
put
time
our
to do
we'd put our hands in the air like we were on an actual roller coaster.
cute.
Anyways.
All right. Well, you ready to get into the album?
Yep, I've got notes for most every song. Well, I've got notes for every song on the like original, like
Okay.
the up till Long Live, and then I didn't take notes on the deluxe ones. I just took notes on the Taylor's from the Vault ones because I didn't really want to
Sure.
talk about the deluxe songs. I didn't care that much about them.
Yeah, I will say if this was a movie, which she moved to Fearless Taylor's version because she wanted to be able to say she had an entirely self-written album. And Superman are kind of like Superman's probably one of my
I actually like
bottom.
that
Oh,
one.
it is one of my least favorite.
Oh,
Taylor
don't
songs.
worry, Hannah. We're gonna disagree on a lot of things. I already know.
Oh, great. Okay. And then we've talked about acoustic versions of things before. I like them, but I know that you don't love them.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I skip those.
And then mine pop mix, I just pretend doesn't exist because how silly. But everything had to have a pop mix back in 2010,
That's right.
so
That's
I get
right.
it.
You gotta match those. Like you gotta match like what 30 or 303 are putting out or whatever. Kesha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is back when she was supposed to be country, which this album is not really a country album.
No.
But
You could tell she's transitioning.
Yes, it's very much a like in between
It is
sounds
pop
kind of album.
country. Well, I guess all of her stuff
Yeah.
is pop country, but like it's pop country leaning more towards pop.
There's definitely some like non-country like inspiration on these albums. Okay, so would you like to start with your notes on this original Speak Now?
Well, all my notes kind of bleed together on both Speak Now and Taylor's version. I just went track by track.
Yeah, that's fine. That's the best way to do it, I think. Because we can kind of compare.
Right.
They're pretty similar.
Yes, well, yeah, I'm about to say, there's not really much. I feel like you can compare, like, Sparks Fly, Mean, because, like, they're more country on the original, and then she's just kind of like, forget that accent. That was awful. I'm going to do my normal accent, but it doesn't really fit the song.
She did drop the accent, which is really funny.
Except in Sparks Fly, when I want to get the lyric right because I will. Where is it? Okay, it says in the chorus, "Give me something that'll haunt me when you're not around." When she sings "around" on the Taylor's version, you can tell like she's probably so used to maybe having that fake country like twang that she just kind of will always do it with that word.
Around. Yeah, I get that. I remember. I don't know. Go ahead.
I know. I was just say I noticed it, and I was just like, "Well, okay, Taylor, you're not country, but sure, you can. I guess if you do something long enough, you'll kind of develop it." So.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it probably does come back in that moment. It's funny that you noticed that. Okay, so did you have anything to say about mine?
Oh yeah. Okay, that one's my. I'd say it's probably my favorite off the album.
Oh, you liked mine a lot.
I loved it. It was a bop. Truly. I have a fun little misheard lyric for this one.
Uh-huh.
And I would say if I like even though I know it's not right, if I were to ever sing along to this song, like I would just always say what I heard. So, okay, the lyric is in the chorus. It's "You made a rebel of a careless man's careful daughter." I had to really stop myself from saying what I've always heard ever since I was a kid. And I always heard, "You made a rebel of a careless man's crippled daughter." And I can't unhear it now. Like that's just what it is to me, and I'll never be able to. I'll never be able to say the actual lyric.
You'll never be able to. That's funny. This song is not her first time like writing about fictional characters, but it is one of the first times.
Oh.
And so that's kind of fun. It's like because she did that a lot in her more recent albums and Folklore and Evermore, but Genius is saying this is probably about Cory Monteith, but that doesn't really make sense. Um, I think it's more because it's, not autobiographical. So, but you liked this song a lot, even though you misheard the lyric.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it's cute. I don't know. I really like it a lot. I like that it's kind of more poppier, more pop in Taylor's version.
Mhm.
I think I like that a little bit better. I don't know. I just think it's a cute song. I don't know if it's supposed to be cute, but it's a
It is.
Oh, okay.
It is really cute.
I will
Yeah, because
I will say I love a good cheesy line, and I like that I like that the chorus thing is like, "You're the best thing that's ever been mine." I'm like, "Aw, love,
yeah, and the
heartache."
music video is really cute. Heartache.
So I don't know. That
And then,
it grabbed my attention, I guess.
and I love at the end where it's like, "Never turn back." I always want to like scream that part. I'm like, yeah, never turn back. When we were kids, my little sister and I, who she went with me to see Eras Tour, in Atlanta, and we listened to all of the Taylor albums together when they come out, and this was her favorite on
Mhm.
Speak Now for a long time when we were kids. So, but I don't think it's still her favorite, but it was at the time. So you and my sister, similar taste apparently.
I will say, I like in Taylor's version, she kept the man in the background.
Wondering if she would do that.
I was like, did he re-record his lines, or did she just take them from the old songs? Because it'd be kind of fun if he re-recorded them too.
Well, I know that they had to do like everything all over for her to be able to own it, like the instrumentals and everything.
Well, he hasn't changed a bit.
I don't know if it's the same guy though.
Oh, well, I thought it was.
Which is really funny. It sounds like the same guy, but I heard that it might. Okay, I'm gonna look it up actually. But the original guy was Nathan Chapman, who worked on her first couple albums, and then they stopped working together after a while.
Oh.
I think they just. I don't think anything happened. I think they just stopped working together.
Well, she got a stronger voice. That's how I would imagine.
Yeah, and that was a big reason why, like, she had him backing her vocals, is because she wasn't super, like, strong in them yet and super confident, and then I guess, over time, she doesn't need that anymore. She's got much stronger vocals now.
Right.
That was something I noticed, like, immediately was that, she sounds like she's not having to work as hard for these songs as she was back in 2010.
Yeah, but they, in the same kind of like vein, they sound a little emotionless. Like they don't sound. You can tell she doesn't have to work as hard, but also you can kind of tell like she's just singing a song. But I feel like
Yeah,
in the original you have that kind of raw emotion that
it is, yeah, missing a little bit, and that's like part of the difference between the two. Is like, okay, so she sounds more mature vocally and like doesn't have to work as hard, and but she is losing some of the like original emotion that goes into it when you sing it in the moment.
Yeah, boy, she sounds bored.
Sometimes like there's a song. This is a hot take. There's a song on Midnights that people love that I'm like, she sounds so bored singing this song, and it really kind of kills it for me. Anyway, it was Christopher Rowe was the guy that she sang with instead of Nathan Chapman.
Oh, well, Christopher, you sounded great.
You did a great job, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think about Sparks Fly?
So, like my only really thought about Sparks Fly. Let me look. Um. Well, that chorus has been in my head since like 2010. Remember when we took that BuzzFeed quiz of like finish the Taylor lyric, and that was the one I knew like right away.
Yeah, I remember.
So I guess it's good. The one thing I noticed about that I really noticed with this album, because like I said, I don't listen to a lot of Taylor unless it just comes on, is for me, her verses, she writes really good choruses, really good hooks. They're catchy. They get stuck in my head. The verses though, I don't like her. Like her verses kind of bore me a little bit.
Not a big fan of the Sparks Fly
Well, I'm not a
verses.
big fan of many. Like a lot of them are forgettable. Are forgettable. Um, I don't know. I like how this one is. I think I like how this one on Taylor's version is mixed a little bit. I think it's in my opinion it's mixed a little bit better.
Yeah.
Um, but the only other thought I really had about it was, she dropped the country accent, and it's kind of funny that it still kind of pokes its head out and peeks through a little bit in Taylor's version. So
I like this. Yeah, I can agree that, especially in some of her older songs, that the hooks, the choruses, and she's always been a bridge girl. She can write a bridge.
mhm.
Um,
And she always loves to throw in a tom beat during her bridges, which I'm a big fan of.
and then she always has some like long like just vocalization part, and especially in her old songs, just like ah.
She really likes her vocal warm ups. She really likes her vowels and
Yeah.
ahs and ohs and uhs and yes.
So this song originally was not on the album. It wasn't on any album. It was an old song that the fans back in the day found and were like, please put it on an album, and it became part of the album.
That's so
Um,
interesting because it fits in with this album so well, especially
I
following
know.
like right after mine. And she says, first of all, I really like the line "'cause I see sparks fly whenever you smile."
Mhm.
I'm a sucker for a good smile. You can ask Juan. I adore his smile. So I feel that one. But like it transitions so well and so seamlessly after mine and kind of like that cute, you know, romantic,
Cheesy romance.
cheesy romance. Everything about you so perfect, but we're gonna have hard times at some point, you know?
Yeah, realistically.
Yeah, it's realistic but cheesy at the same time, which I'm a fan of. I am a hopeless romantic, so I respect
Yeah.
it. So that's
Oh yeah,
interesting
same.
though. That fact
So
is interesting about it though.
yeah, it is that it was because it does sound like it just fits in. You wouldn't have thought it unless. Um, I also like can remember my sister and I in a dance that we made up to the chorus of this song. So this song is it's very special to me.
Is it
It's
like
so
one of
good.
those dances where you take the chord like the words literally? So like
Oh, 100%.
so like when she says sparks fly, you're like making like sparks with your hands or trying
Yes,
to,
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Rachel used to
We
do
did the like
those.
rain
Yep.
falling down.
Yep. I feel like that's a preteen teen girl thing to do before you hit like
Oh
high
yeah.
school. That's like once you get to like the summer of freshman year, you're like, I'm over this.
No, yeah, that was very much a 12-year-old thing to do, and it was I had so much fun with it. My poor sister. We would jump on her bed and like dance to this song.
Honestly, that's how like Rachel, I'd hang out with her soccer friends, and that's kind of how we were with Hot and Cold by Katy Perry. So I get it.
Hot and Cold is the perfect song for that too.
Yep, yep.
Okay, back to December.
I loved this song. Again, it's one of those songs that like you heard on the radio all the time. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I like the Taylor's version more, I think. It just sounds better. It sounds more mature. And in my opinion, this one and Dear John, like her Taylor's version, they both sound more emotional to me.
Hmm.
Um you're like, no they don't.
Well, I'm thinking about it, and I mean, yeah, I'd have to listen to him again. Yeah, I remember feeling like mine and Sparks Fly. I was like, okay, she's kind of singing, and then getting deeper into the album, I was like, no, she's putting her all into these.
Right. And okay, I figured you're gonna tell me, but in my notes I put, what did Taylor do to Taylor? Jeez, like how, you know, what did she do to this man?
I know she feels so bad. No, I think she just dumped him. I think
This
I
is
think she just got she broke her own heart, broke his heart.
but like just out of nowhere? Like is it because he
Yeah.
well, is it because of like the Kanye situation and he didn't, him not doing anything? Is it
I mean, it's interesting that you bring that up because he really didn't do anything. And he has said recently it's because he just didn't know how to react in the moment. He didn't realize what was
which is
going
fair.
on. He was like, is this a bit? What's happening? Just didn't react. And which is really funny now to think about.
But like I think
But
he talked about it when he hosted SNL. I can't remember if he hosted SNL during like the Twilight heyday or if it was like recently. I'm pretty sure it was not recently. But he like his whole monologue was like he was just ripping on himself
yeah,
about
he's
him
really
not
down on himself
reacting,
about it.
which I think is
He
sweet. So then I'm just kind of like, okay, Taylor, like what'd you do to this man? He clearly
he
cared.
yeah, he did. He cared a lot, and he's down on himself for for the way that turned out. And she, yeah, like why did she leave him? I don't know.
And if it's just because she just
Um,
broke up with him, this is a little melodramatic, I guess. Like, it's a little over the top.
yeah,
Especially if
these
she's just kind
days,
of like, I don't love you, Jake. Like, I'm just over it. And she's like, this is me swallowing my pride, saying I'm sorry, and I'm just like, you're dumb. If I don't know.
yeah, and they didn't date for very long, I don't think.
Well, according to this song, it
And
was like the summer and the fall or something.
yeah, but it's very dramatic. I mean, like you gave me roses and I left them there to die.
Like,
Like,
okay, Taylor.
um,
You know what? I'm glad other Taylor is with another Taylor. He deserves her, not you.
the thing is though that now they're friends.
That's
So
true.
last weekend at Eras Tour, she brought him out on the stage.
Right. Here, I'm gonna sing this song about you, Taylor. Come on out.
He was in a music video that she just made for a Taylor's version song, and him and Joey King were in it, and then she brought them on the stage, and when she brought him out on the stage, he did a backflip down the stage.
Yeah, okay.
It was very funny. But yeah, now they're friends, and he's married to another Taylor, and it's kind of weird.
Fun fact about Taylor Lautner. He was in Cheaper by the Dozen too. He dated Allison Stoner's character, and he was like 13.
Wow.
Like
Fun fact about Taylor Lautner: poor guy has not been in a good movie.
No, he is. Hey, Cheaper by the Dozen 2 is okay. It's average, maybe a little mediocre, but it's fine.
Except for Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
But it's just so weird, like, that movie came out in like 2006, I think, maybe. And then, like, the next year, he's this buff dude in Twilight.
Yeah, always has his shirt off.
Right. Anyways, poor Taylor Lautner, but good for him. I'm glad he's happy. I'm glad they're friends. I don't know. Taylor writing this, so many Taylors. She writing this song and just being so like dramatic about their breakup when it sounds like it was like just like they didn't date for very long. It is kind of over nothing. You know what? I feel like I'm gonna make you mad if I say this, but that kind of like makes me wonder like what's she like in a relationship, you know?
I mean, she probably is a little bit of a melodramatic person in relation. She's very much got theater kid energy, like you gotta keep up or get out, I guess.
I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate on like what Taylor's like behind closed doors, but I just kind of like, girl, what's wrong with you?
Which, you can say that, but then watching Taylor Lautner backflip down the stage and then give like a 30-second speech about how much he admires Taylor Swift.
But They're both quirky.
He's got theater kid energy too. Like maybe they should have ended up together.
But then you would have not gotten so many other albums.
That's true.
She'd write about married life, and then it'd be kind of boring.
Well, you say that, but we've got lots of albums about Joe Alwyn at this point.
That's true.
Okay,
Sorry.
moving on.
Okay, yeah.
Speak Now. What did you think about Speak Now?
I hated that song. I thought it was, because like the first 3 songs, bops. Then this, I'm like, ugh, I don't like it. It is cringy.
It is, like, again, another fictional story.
Right.
And it is, like, probably my least favorite of the main album. Just because, like you said, like, it's kind of weird.
I don't like these kind of stories of, you know, a scorned past lover comes in and is like, no, don't marry them, and you know, I find that so immature and just so, like I said, cringy and bad, and just like it's an asshole move. It is. If this song was an "Am I the Asshole," I would say you are the asshole.
Yeah, like you shouldn't do this at a wedding.
So I don't know.
But
I couldn't get into the song. I was just like, and I've never heard this song before, and I guess it makes, I don't know what I thought "Speak Now" would be like on this album, but I should have known. And I was just like, I remember like I was exercising during this, and I was like, I want to skip this, but I know I can't.
it is such an interesting song, like conceptually, to write about this daydream of, like, what would it be like to crash this wedding and tell the boy you actually do love him, and oh, he still loved you the whole time, so he's gonna run away with you.
I'll tell you what would happen. That would not happen in real life. And if that would, that couple's not gonna last. They're gonna get in one fight, and someone's gonna run off.
Yeah, it's not healthy. But it's funny that she kind of themed the album around that idea of, like, saying what you want to say, speaking out. And at the same time, it's funny to think about her in that time period. And even now a little bit. She's very careful about what she says. She doesn't really speak now. Except for, like, if she writes, an intense song. But
right.
she, like, kind of doesn't really take her own advice. And I remember, like, reading, in the album booklet or whatever, like, I don't think you should wait. I think you should speak now is the whole theme of the album, and being like, I'm not going to do that, Taylor. I'm going to hold my tongue. I will not say what's on my mind.
She thought the same thing.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to continue to just keep it all to myself.
I mean, maybe you could say that, like, it kind of goes both ways. It doesn't really go well. It looks bad in this song, but in, like, the next song, Dear John, it's good that she's speaking now. It's good that she's calling him out. It's good that she's acknowledging that she should have, like, ran from that situation to begin with, but she didn't.
Yeah.
Like, it works both ways, and I think, going with that little booklet, maybe she realized afterwards, when you're young and you're 20 and you're like, I'm going to, say whatever's on my mind. No filter. It's a personality trait. But then when you get older, you're like, no, filters are good sometimes. Sometimes it's better to just, love and okay, well, now I'm just stumbling over. You get what I'm saying. But, it's good to have that love that got away, that one that got away. It's fine. But when someone's an actual predator, it is good to speak up and say, this is not okay.
Yeah.
Beware.
I love that. I think that's a good point. Yeah, and I think you're right, too. Like, the point you're making, pointing out how the speaking out, sometimes went well, and then sometimes was not a good thing. Like, on this song, where it's like, okay, don't actually crash a wedding.
Right.
You're
20. You don't know anything about love. What do you know?
But this album is so, like, you feel like you know a lot when you're 19 and 20, but you really don't. But it's just when you're 19, you're like, yep, I know how things work, and then come to find out.
I'm so old, you guys. I'm 19.
Also, about this song, apparently it's rumored to be inspired by Hayley Williams' Paramore. Because she had to go to Josh Farrow's wedding in April 2010.
I'm guessing that there's a falling out with. Is he the guy that came back to Paramore and then left again and started a rap career or something?
All I know is that he and Hayley Williams dated,
Oh,
and
that's
he was
probably not
in the
him then.
band. No, he was in the band. He might have come back.
I
Let's
don't know.
see.
I don't get into the Paramore drama.
But yeah, that was the whole the whole drama. And she went to the wedding. I can't imagine going to an ex's wedding.
Why would they invite me? And like,
Yeah, exactly.
why would I invite my exes? I don't want to see my exes again. I don't care about them, you know?
Let's see. Did he even come back? This is not important,
There's
but
so
I have
many
to know now.
there's so many J's in Paramore, it seems. Like, you know, I don't maybe there's not, I don't know, but I don't follow the Paramore drama. I don't care enough.
He just left in like 2011,
Oh.
and I don't know, probably because they broke up.
Well, that sucks for her, but also, girl, you didn't have to go. Just because you got invited. You could say, "No, I'm busy. I'm touring with my very successful band that you decided to leave."
Yeah, exactly. And Taylor heard the story, and she was like, "What if you just told him that he should leave his fiance for you at the altar?"
Oh, that's so stupid. You know what? I don't think a lot can make me mad on my wedding day, but I think that like that would I would just I'd beat the girl up. I've been working out. I got some muscles. I can throw a punch, I'm sure.
You heard it here, everyone. Watch out. Oh my gosh, he was one of the co-writers on This Is Amazing Grace. You've probably heard that song. You've probably listened to Christian music enough on the radio in random places to have heard this song.
Positive, encouraging, Caleb.
Exactly. What? He writes Christian music now? Anyway, okay, back to Taylor. So, then Dear John is next.
Love Dear John, big fan. I really think artists need to write more songs exposing predators and predatory behavior. Cause like, sorry, Olivia, I know you like John Mayer, but like this man needs to just go away.
Yeah, he gets a lot of credit for being a musician, who can play guitar.
A lot of people can play guitar.
That's kind of how I feel about him. I'm kind of like, you know, he's got some songs that sound good, but like he isn't remarkable to me.
He is the like poster child of like what adult contemporary like soft rock music is in the 2000s. And his voice is just like, if I hear John Mayer, I think of like going to the orthodontist or something. Like that's where you'd hear him, at the dentist, you know, at the doctor's office.
But he's actually kind of like Gravity. I do not like Your Body Is a Wonderland or anything like that.
But he's just okay, so I watched this movie the other day called Vengeance with BJ Novak, and in the beginning he and John Mayer are having a discussion at like a bar, talking about how they don't like to commit to women because like what's the point of commitment when you could just basically date all these people. And like they were like, yeah, if I find out who a sibling is, like, you know, then we've gone too far. I don't want to know anything about, you know, their lives, and they don't want to know anything. And like, and I think part of the goal of that scene in the movie was just kind of like expose or explore like who those people are and their motives for things. And I'm just kind of like, BJ Novak knew what he was doing casting John Mayer, because that is the kind of guy he is, you know? A guy who's self-centered, doesn't really care about anyone's feelings, and I don't know, I don't like him that much. He seems like a tool.
I forgot that he wrote Daughters. I used to listen to that back when I used to listen to a lot of, you know, mom music when I was in middle school.
Oh, sure. I like some Sheryl Crow. You know, that's mom music. Love me
so much mom music.
Love Me If It Makes You Happy. If I hear that, I'm wailing along. And not singing, wailing.
But yeah, no, I think like there are a couple John Mayer songs where I can be like, yeah, this man, he's talented, he can create music, but I don't think it's enough for all of us to be like, woo, let's look past these things that he has publicly done.
Was it
And
you or was it Juan? I'm pretty sure it's Juan. Who like maybe it was you. I don't know. Who like told me about an interview he did with Playboy where he was like, "My dick is a white supremacist."
ugh, what a weird thing to say.
And I'm just like, like y'all, how does he get away with this? I mean, granted, it
It's
was like an
because
older interview, but like still, what?
I mean, he's, let's just say it, he's a white man.
But I think today, if it was said, it would not go over well. So why are we not like that like trend on social media? Maybe you don't, where like athletes or famous people go back through and like dig through their old tweets to find something offensive and kind of quote unquote expose them.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not doing that to him?
I mean, because it's all right here. Like it's in his Wikipedia. It's very public. He has done a lot of things publicly that are just not,
Right
you know,
then, it must be nice to be
not
a white
great.
man, I guess.
So this song is about him and the relationship that he had with Taylor, which she is, let's see, what, 33 now? How old is she? I don't even know. How
You
old is
don't
Taylor?
know.
Yeah, she is 33. And he was, I think, 32 when they dated, 31 or 32. And she was 19. And so it's weird to think that she's only now his age that he was when they dated. Um, she also performed vocals on Half of My Heart, one of his songs, and that was around when they were dating. And then he said a lot of not great stuff about this song. He was pretty offended that she wrote the song. I've seen people say that he wrote her some nasty emails and just kind of said some really mean things to her, and then wrote Paper Doll about her. Just kind of talking about how she's not a great person, is what he thinks of her now.
That's
You
so.
know,
What did he
how a
expect?
mature person would do.
What do you like? What does he expect to happen when you date a musician?
Yeah, it's also just like
You're.
very immature to be 32 and be really offended. Especially like this is after he already said some pretty nasty things. Like people could have come down on him for other stuff besides this Taylor song.
Right.
But musically, I think this is a great song. She's, emulating his guitar style in it.
I like that.
But
That's fun. That's kind of like that's petty. I like petty.
yeah, it's a good kind of petty, but it's also like I'm like, man, it's fun to hear artists kind of emulate other artists a little bit, which she does on this album, and that's fun. Um, I like the lyrics on this album a lot.
I will say I'm looking at the Paper Doll lyrics because I've never heard that song and I just wanted to see. And first of all, you should have kept my undershirt. Ew. Nobody wants an undershirt, John.
Yeah, of all things to keep, no.
Also, I will say the one line that really jumps out to me is the "You're like 22 girls in one." I don't know. Like I said, this is just me speculating about who I think Taylor Swift is, and I don't know, so I'm not gonna say it. But that I don't know. That just stands out to me as like maybe like obviously when you're in relationships, they don't end. Everyone plays a part in it, and so we don't know what she's like in her relationships. She just paints a picture of what she wants to portray. So I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to get a different perspective um of that relationship. I don't know, that line just stuck out to me.
Yeah, and I think you make a good point. Like we can really only hear her side of it on her songs, so we don't really know. Um, and she, contributes and stuff, but it's
I think
hard to say.
I think you know what? Reading the next line and none of them know what they're running from. I think that kind of just shows him, or it shows you how young she was.
Yeah, I
'Cause
think that's a big part of it.
when I was reading the lyric, I really thought it was gonna say you're like 22 girls in one, and none of them know what they want. You know, that's kind of
Mhm.
like what I get, because she's 19. She doesn't know what she's running from. She doesn't know herself. She doesn't know what she wants. She doesn't know anything. And so, what did you expect, John?
Yeah, why didn't you date maybe a more established woman, like someone who was your own age,
At
maybe?
least mid-20s. Come on.
Yeah, someone who knew what they wanted, someone who knew what they were running from. You probably. um,
But it says a lot about him if he's, dating someone that young. So,
and then trashing her.
yeah.
This song is also the second longest song on the album. No, wait, it is the longest song. Um, Last Kiss is the second longest. So it's pretty intense. It was really good live on the tour. Like that is I very clearly remember, and the fireworks that went off at the end. She sings, shining like fireworks over your sad empty town. And the fireworks went off, and it was pretty cool. It was a great performance. She really hadn't done this song live until a couple weeks ago on her Eras tour, and so you can tell this is kind of one of those that she kind of keeps. It's probably hard to sing, and it's really long too, so it probably is like physically a little bit difficult to sing.
She gets like 3 minutes in, and she's like, singing, and she's like, when does this end?
Yeah. Okay. We can move on from John. That's all the airspace he deserves
Yeah,
from us, I
sorry,
think.
Olivia. I know you like John Mayer a lot. She likes John Mayer a lot, right?
I think so.
So yeah, I know you're listening. So sorry. You can come on and defend. You can defend your love for him, or so you can defend him if you want. We'll have you on.
Yeah, I mean, you can make us listen to his album. We
Sure.
can't stop you.
Yeah, we'll listen to it.
Okay.
So Mean is next.
Mean, the country song on the album.
Right, the country song, and then in Taylor's version, the country song with the very pop vocals.
Yeah, the no longer country song, the pop song with a banjo.
I like the original more. I like the country, but the reason I say that is because the song like I get where the point she's making, but for me when I was listening to it, I was just like, all right, Taylor, get over yourself, Like, I don't know.
It feels pettier now. Like she couldn't write this song now.
Yeah. Oh no. It is a 18, 19, 20-year-old. Like that is them. A snapshot of them is this song. Plus
this
the pop
critic,
vocals don't fit.
like cut her deep. Saying that she couldn't sing.
But girl, like, you're so successful. Like, I know no one likes criticism, but if I'm like selling millions of albums and I'm like only 18, I feel like a critic couldn't cut me down. I feel like I'd be so in my own head, like so just my ego would be huge. I'd be like, what do they know? They're 40 and writing about a 16-year-old's album,
But we'll get back to that because one of the vault songs is kind of about that feeling. But yeah, so you can tell this cuts her deep, and it's honestly a fun song. It's good for like, and the music video, it's all these different people getting bullied for different things, and in the end, they're living in a big old city. And all you are is mean and a liar and pathetic and alone in life and mean and mean and mean. Which is like, oh, what a harsh line. Okay, let's talk about Never Grow Up. No, wait, not Never Grow Up. The Story of Us. Let's talk about The Story of Us.
Ooh, I got a hot take on this. Musically, I love it. I think it's a bop. But the song itself, like the vocals,
don't break my heart. Don't break my heart.
It drags. I remember listening to this while I was exercising, and I'm just like, I'm doing my Russian twists, right? And I'm just like, when does this song end? Why are we only in verse 2?
Wow, you were not a story. I'm surprised by that because this one feels the most Paramore-y.
Well, I don't love Paramore that much.
Oh, you just like the recent album.
Yeah, I like their recent album, and then I like a couple of the hits, from their other stuff. But I'm not huge on Paramore, so um,
Fair enough. I'm a big Story of Us fan. I've always liked the song. I think the concept is fun. I think it's fun musically. I like singing it.
yes. When I was telling Rachel my thoughts, she was singing it in the kitchen. She's like, "What?" And then she started singing it.
Your opinion of the dragging on change in the new version, did you, with the vocals?
It did not change. No, I was kind of In fact, I was like, I kind of tuned out listening to this one. I was just kind of like, ugh. I made my note, and then I was like, well, I'm just gonna, I'll listen to the whole thing, but I'm gonna not pay attention.
Fair enough.
Like
Did
I
you like
said,
the last chorus?
what was the last chorus?
Okay, that tells me. But
Oh,
this might fall in the camp for you with the ones where you're not a big fan of the verses, but the choruses are fun.
Yeah, I mean the chorus is memorable. I don't know. The song just goes on too long. And just looking at the lyrics, like the lines are so long and.
The lines are. She had a lot to say. She was speaking now.
You're right. She was speaking now. I just found it musically fun, but very boring. So.
This song and Better Than Revenge and Haunted. I'm like, Taylor, why didn't you release a rock album? Why wasn't Midnight's could have been a rock album? I know you love pop, but we could have gone there. Maybe she's afraid of the vocals on
you
it,
can
but
you can collab. Fall Out Boy will collaborate with you. Haley will
because they
collaborate.
did.
Miley,
Haley
I'm
did.
sure will hop on. Demi probably.
I'm sure.
I don't know. There might be a feud between them that I don't know about. But you could.
I'm sure people would.
They could be a super group.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure. I bet Joe Jonas would play the guitar.
I'm sure
Or Kevin.
he would. Yeah, Kevin will join in.
Just take 2009 and make it a band.
Yeah, take everybody from like Disney's, like Earth campaign thing, which is just the Jonas Brothers, Miley Cyrus, and like Demi Lovato and Selena Gomez, and then add in Taylor Swift, and just it's all of the Jonas Brothers' past lovers, just all in a super group with Fall Out Boy and Hayley Williams.
They call it like Jonas Brothers Girls or something.
Featuring Fall Out Boy and Paramore.
What a weird super group. Okay, Never Grow Up. Sad.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot. It's cute and it's sad, and I think it'll really hit hard for a lot for like you when you have kids, or if Taylor ever has kids. But not much to say about it, honestly. For me, at least.
Yes. Yeah, I think it is one of those where you're like hearing it now and you're like, oh man. I think it in the moment when I was growing up, I was like, never grow up, and now I'm kind of like, okay, this will hit me again when I have kids.
Yeah.
Enchanted.
I like Enchanted.
Has probably been the longest lasting song on this album. Probably.
What do you mean?
Like, I think that's the one that generally the public goes back to the most. If that makes sense. I don't know for sure that it's been the biggest hit, but I feel like probably that's the one everybody listens to the most on this album. And I think for good reason. It's very good.
It is. It's very whimsical, but also like sad, like looming sadness.
That's a good way to put it. Okay, it is the most streamed on the original album. I was correct. It is like by a lot. It has like 600 million streams, and the next one under it is like 200. No, the next one under it is 300 million, and it's back to December.
And this is about Owl City Guy, right?
It is about Owl City Guy. Isn't that wild?
Because Rachel was telling me the story that he sent her like this long email, and at the end it was saying, "Oh, I was enchanted to meet you," and I'm like, "That's cute."
Yeah, he said the word wonderstruck, and she was like, "Oh, I love that."
But so okay, I like this song a lot. I think it is like one that I might go back to, but I don't like at the end that it's saying, "Please don't be in love with somebody else. Please don't have somebody waiting on you." Like, Taylor, come on, girl. You gotta either make your move or go home.
You gotta speak now.
Exactly. See, this is her not speaking now. This is her saying, "This is what happens when you don't speak now." Sure, it could
Exactly.
go horribly or it could be great, but if if you don't speak now, it'll always go poorly.
See, this is her saying you gotta speak now.
That's right. You hear that, everybody?
Um, this song has two perfumes, and they're both great in my opinion. That might be a controversial opinion at this point in 2023, but
I don't know. I haven't
um,
had any of her perfumes. I'm sure they're overpriced.
I love the way they smell though. Um, okay. Better Than Revenge. The most notable part of this song is the lyric change currently.
That's
Like,
right.
I think. So, what did you think about the lyric change?
I think it was necessary, but I think with the change, the song loses its punchiness. It doesn't hit you as hard.
Mm.
It's not as bitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as petty. And I think it loses a lot of value with the lyric change, but it needed to be made.
I think I agree with you on that. I think I was a little disappointed to hear that she changed it, because part of me is like, okay, I mean, this is true to her 19-year-old experience.
Yeah,
Like,
that is
we're
something
not
a
re
19-year-old would say.
we're not rewriting history. It was 2010. You know, like it's more about re-recording the song. But then I think like I've been convinced it was a needed change, and I think I like that she stuck to her guns about, okay, I've grown and changed. I don't need to say this again. But it does lose some of its shock value. I can remember as a middle schooler, I would sing this song and I would close my mouth during that line and be like, I'm not gonna sing that line.
Rachel told me today that a couple of years ago, she was singing this song. Like, her and my mom were going somewhere, and she was just like walking out singing this song. And mom goes, she sings the mattress line, and mom goes, "Excuse me, what are you singing?" And Rachel's like, "I'm not 12 anymore, mom. I can sing this."
See, that was me as a 12-year-old.
But
I'm not old enough to sing this line.
I will say, I don't like this song that much. And it's one reason
Okay.
and one reason only. Her spoken parts in the background are so cringy, and I hate it, and I will not listen to this song again.
See, here's the thing, I love this song, but I trashed the spoken song parts on the Jonas Brothers songs last week. And so now I'm like, oh, am I a hypocrite? Because I love it in this song. I think it's
You're
so
not a
fun.
hypocrite. You just like what you like. But I just think it's so cringy. I'm like, okay, Taylor, get over yourself. you know?
Yes. Rebecca, on tour, when she did this song,
Uh huh.
she was. They go, there's a phone call and it goes, leave a message, make it hot. And
What?
then she, like, and she's like doing a fake interview at this point in the tour, and then it like dials up this girl's phone, and then she says that as the
Oh,
like,
that's her voicemail
yeah,
thing.
it's not Taylor's voice saying that, it's
Yeah.
somebody
Okay.
else's
It's okay.
voice.
I see. I see.
And then Taylor gets up and like, so she's sitting in this chair during this like fake interview, and she gets up and she throws the chair over the stage and sings this song. It's fantastic. I think you should listen to the song one more time to watch a live performance of it.
I will say I pulled up a song. Rachel was showing me Sparks Fly live because she was like, I want the way they play this live to be what's played at my wedding. And I was like, you could barely hear the music over the screaming. It
Yeah, you
it
gotta find a
was
good video.
it was not enjoyable.
That is one thing about live. There's a live version of this album too, um, which I won't subject you to because I always skip live songs because I don't love the screaming.
Yeah,
Um, okay, Innocent about Kanye.
that's right. I like that it's about I like it. I don't know. I think the lights are the lights. I'm looking at the line your string of lights. I really like it. To me, though, how I interpreted this song, I know it's about Kanye, but for me, the only part that makes me think about Kanye is verse 2. Did some things you can't speak of. But
Mhm.
well, just that line really. The rest of it, in my opinion, to me sounds like her way of dealing with it. Because like the line "Your string of lights are still bright to me,"
Hmm.
I don't know. To me, like I guess maybe I'm just interpreting it wrong, but like that sounds like she's telling herself like, okay, this thing happened to you that was kind of embarrassing, and like you know people made fun of you and the whole situation, and but you're still like you're okay, you're fine, you're not going
Uh,
anywhere. But I can see how it's also about Kanye, so I don't know.
that makes a lot of sense. I kind of like that you say that it could be her kind of dealing with her own reaction to it, and also extending this hand of forgiveness to him and saying like, it's okay, like you can grow from this.
Well,
This
we know
embarrassed both
there's
of us.
something wrong with him.
Well, I was gonna say the genius on this says an innocent is about learning from one's mistakes and becoming a better person, which Kanye sadly did not do. Okay, genius. Call him out. Um,
So yeah, I could see it from both perspectives of like she's telling Kanye you can be better. But also I really do see it as her kind of giving herself a pep talk of like this happened, but it's not going to define you. You're going to be okay and be fine.
yeah, I like coaching herself through it. Like it's okay.
Right.
I will say it kind of is like um lyrically something that I come back to in my own life too, where it's like, yeah, you're gonna have new Septembers. Who you are is not where you've been. Like it's gonna be okay. You can own up to your mistake and you can move on.
Right. We
And I
all
like that.
change.
I think it's a mature song.
It is
Like
a
a
mature song.
surprisingly
It is, yeah.
sweet and mature song.
For a 20-year-old to write. Good for you, Taylor.
Hmm.
Like it's so funny that that follows Better Than Revenge because Better Than Revenge is so immature and petty
I
and
know. It's
then
like
she's
I
all
will
like
not
you
forgive
can
you for
you can
stealing
grow
Joe
from
from
your
me.
mistakes, Kanye. It's okay.
That is something about Taylor is that the way that she orders songs on her album is so funny. Like, I don't know. That's a whole other discussion. Um, I also was thinking about Better Than Revenge and comparing it to her song Now Karma, where she's like, I keep my side of the street clean. You wouldn't know what I mean. And I'm like, 2010 Taylor did not keep her side of the street clean. 2010 Taylor was like, I like revenge.
It's fun. But
Growth.
I think that shows growth and maturity that most people experience, like
Hem. Cough, cough. Kanye and John Mayer. Cough, cough.
Right, but I mean, I think healthy people learn
Yeah.
from their mistakes and grow. Like, like I can be petty sometimes, but pettiness is not something I'm going to go to straight away. Or it's not something I'm going to act on. But if you had talked to me, 3, 4 years ago, I would have been like, that person did me wrong. Let's be petty.
Yeah.
People change. So good for you,
Yeah.
Taylor.
I think, yeah, and then like starting that whole, like, seeing it in herself at 19, 20, and then being able to be like, okay, well, we can grow, we can change.
And I like that that's because I like I said earlier, this album really shows what it's like to be a 19, 20-year-old in that transition of you feel like you're an adult but you're not. She has signs of maturity, she has flashes of it, but then there's also she's still a kid and she's still got that, kid desires, I guess. So, kind of cool.
Yeah.
It was really like I said, it was really good listening to this album because I could just she did a great job putting that
Capturing.
yeah capturing that emulating that so I may not enjoy the
Uh,
album as a whole as like too much but like it paints a good picture and I love that so
like she captures the way that everything feels so intense at that age. Like
yes.
when you're crushing on Joe Jonas and some other girl starts dating him instead. He breaks up with you in a 26-second phone call and then and then dates somebody else. Like that probably felt like the biggest heartbreak ever.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
mean well and also if someone broke up with me over a 20-second voicemail I'd be like I clearly meant nothing to you.
yeah. Um, which that's what the song Last Kiss is about him, and that's why that's so long. Is because the intro to it is the length of the phone call. Um,
She should have put the voicemail in the song.
yeah, recorded it. That's probably part of why there's a voicemail in Better Than Revenge. Um, really quick, let's get through
Yeah, we got a long
the
way to
last
go.
few. Haunted, love Haunted.
I didn't like it that much. It felt very over dramatic musically, and the chorus
Mm.
felt a little over dramatic. And I will say, loved in Taylor's version how like prominent the bass is. Like you can really hear
Mm,
it, and I was just like, bass cover in my future because it sounds really good.
I would love if you did a bass cover of this. Yeah, I'm surprised all the songs I thought that you were gonna be a fan of, but I love the like orchestra
Yeah, that's fun.
in this song. I think it's such a fun thing to do. It's like rock opera esque almost, if I can say that legally. um,
I'll allow it.
Thank you. I like I personally love the production on the song. I love that it's over dramatic, but like also, I didn't listen to it for the first time as a 25-year-old,
That's
so that
true.
might have an impact.
Oh yeah, 13-year-old Rebecca. If she wasn't so like elitist about music, she would have ate this up.
It was a big part of it for me too, was like being 13 and hearing this. I was like, oh my gosh,
This is
this is what
peak
happens
music.
when you break up with somebody.
Yep.
Is you feel like you're haunted and there's a thousand violins behind you.
At all times.
You can't breathe whenever he's gone. Can't
Yeah.
turn back now.
Which I mean, that's kind of what heartbreak feels like. Like I remember when my first boyfriend and I broke up. It was over text during the pandemic, so how fun.
Oh,
I guess I should
horrible.
say, yeah, I guess that was my first boyfriend. I had a few flings before that, but like, I mean, I was devastated, and I remember I was like crying to like one of my friends or maybe my mom or something, and I was like, I don't even like this guy that much. Like, I wasn't in love with him, but it feels like I am grieving.
Yeah, you're losing a big part of who you think you are, I think,
Yeah,
especially the first time.
exactly.
It's like,
Like,
who am I if I can't be in this relationship?
right, and like I knew there was no like the breakup was inevitable, but I still was like crying all throughout the night, the first week or two it happened. Even and it's same with the next guy that I dated for a while. Had like I don't even know why. I literally tell people I dated him because I was bored. And like we ended things and I was still devastated. And again, I had the same conversation with my mom where I was like, I don't like I wasn't attracted to him. Don't like him. I was just bored and it's the pandemic. I want to do something. But I'm still like he's no longer an option and I'm sad that I don't have that option.
Mm,
So, I get it. I can't imagine if
you get it.
I can't imagine.
You're
Well,
haunted.
I can't like if and we'll get into this with Last Kiss. Really, is like I don't think Juan's gonna break up with me, but like if he well, if if he dies, when he dies, I don't know how I would deal with that. I cannot imagine.
Yeah.
I cry when he like leaves after hanging out with him for like a day. Like I cannot imagine just not having him around anymore. I would. I don't. I hesitate to say I'd kill myself, but it feel impossible to get over.
It would, and probably in the moment, it would feel like such a big, impossible feeling. And she really like captures that. In Han, she's like, I can't get away from this feeling. I can't go forward. I can't go back.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with me. And then yeah, let's get into Last Kiss because that's next. It's like the 27-second intro. She said recently this is the saddest song she's ever written.
Oh my god, I felt it. The first time I listened to this, Hannah, I will tell you, I teared up. I was like, I'm sad.
It is so sad.
Like,
Um,
okay, here's a line that I just saw while scrolling on Genius. You can plan for a change in the weather and time, but I never planned on you changing your mind. Like,
yeah, that's always been a
just
standout one for me.
ah.
It is so sad. And the way she like delivers it too, where you're like, oh my gosh, like Are we gonna be okay, Taylor?
Am
Like,
I
are
okay?
we fine? Are we gonna be okay in the future?
Yeah, no.
Um,
This song is just sad.
this is the like counterpart to she wrote an angry song about Joe, Forever and Always. But also, you know, Back to Better Than Revenge is an angry song about Joe. And then on the other side of it, she's like, also, I felt incredibly sad.
Yep. I I never thought we'd have a last kiss. Like, I don't know, that was just, I mean, you never think that that's going to be a thing, you know?
Hmm.
So, I don't
And
know.
she apparently was all in, you know, hearing
Yeah.
these two songs.
I I texted one while I was listening, and I was like, you're not allowed to die. I'm sorry. You gotta live.
What did
You.
he?
He didn't respond, but he
he
was.
said,
Listen,
he said, "Don't worry, babe, I'll live forever."
I'll defend him. He was probably busy, but we've had conversations in the past where I'm like, I, you know, you have to die first. I cannot. I won't handle it. I can't handle it. Um, but you know, realistically, I mean, he's older than me, so he's probably gonna go first. And
Heck.
what? I'm talking to you
Let's go
about
to the
my
next song.
songs. My thoughts. That was what I was thinking of when I was listening to this song. Okay, yeah, but all right, fine. We can go. We can look. I'm just saying we should stay on the songs that we, you know, want to stay on because I don't have a lot to say about like the vault songs or you know.
That's okay. I don't have a ton to say about them either. So,
So, anyways,
um,
Last Kiss is sad. I will be sad when Juan passes away.
Long Live for a long time was my favorite song in the world, and now is no longer my favorite song in the world, but is
Gasp.
very special to my heart. And it's such a fun song. It's her singing to her band and to then her fans at the same time, and it was like, you know, tour closer, brings the whole band out.
Does
It
she?
was a lot of
Rachel told
fun.
me she hasn't played this, or she didn't play it until the Eras tour.
She definitely played it every night on the Speak Now tour. She like recently on tour said something about like I've never played this song live before, and it was about one of the Speak Now songs. I can't remember now off the top of my head. I think it might have been about like Last Kiss or something like that. Like one of the she was like, I've never played this before, and then everyone was like, girl, you play this every night on the Speak Now tour, but that's fine. Like maybe you just forgot. um
Oof to her band. She
I
forgot.
know. It wasn't about Long Live, but it was some other song. But yeah, so she played this a lot in 2011, so don't worry, Rachel.
You're wrong.
No, it's totally fine. I just have a clear memory of it. Um,
It's a good closer, and I
yes.
think it's a great live. I put it is a white girl anthem. It is
Mhm.
a great, I think a great live closer, and I wish well, I won't ever see her live, but I'm, you know, I wish she'd do it for every show. Like I think it's a good. I think it would be a great closer of the set, and then she plays like her three big hits for the encore or something, you know. Um, but
Yeah,
when
definitely.
yeah, when I was making the launch slideshow, I was googling like graduation songs, and this one came up, and I remember I listened to it, and I was like, "This is not a good graduation song."
It felt like it was to me when I was in 8th grade. Um,
Well, I thought, you know,
and
all the people in our cohort might appreciate it, but as you could tell, I didn't put it in. I
um,
thought about it.
but I think it's a fun. Yeah, I think you're right. It's a really good album closer. It's definitely like, I think when she wrote this album, she had so much success from Fearless, and she was afraid she wouldn't be able to follow that up. Which Speak Now did really, really well. Like it, so she was fine.
Yeah, it was all over the
But
radio.
yes, and it like sold a million copies or something in the first week, and so she did fine. But she was afraid she wasn't gonna do good, and thought that like okay, this is me saying goodbye, and also being like thank you to my band and my fans. Like love this whole thing, and I love the like whimsical lyrics, and fairy tale of the whole thing. I think it's a good closer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll get into the deluxe and vault tracks. Ours, also about John Mayer. Rest in peace. It's such a great song, and it's about John Mayer, so
I
it
didn't
makes me
like
sad.
this.
But
I
it's a
didn't
good
like this one
song.
that much.
You didn't love ours. That's okay. I don't have a lot to say about it beyond I enjoy
To be
it.
fair, you know, I'm 15 tracks in. Or 14, yeah, 15. I'm just kind of like, can we? I should have listened to. I listened to it in chunks, but I should have listened to it in smaller chunks. 'Cause I was just kind of like, I'm ready to be done with this album. Please end.
Especially with like adding on the deluxe and the vault stuff, it gets pretty long, like 22 songs.
I mean, yep. Mm-hmm.
Superman we already talked about.
Like
let's
Superman.
not let's not revisit.
Yeah.
Okay, you like Superman.
Sorry, I'm just saying I liked it. What if
No, I'm
people
kidding.
just jump in the middle? I'm letting them know.
People scroll to the middle of the podcast. Okay. When it comes to the vault tracks, I can see why she left these in the vault.
Yep.
I think that it was a good choice on her part to only include the original 14 that she included. I think those were the ones that made the most sense on the album. They fit the best. I probably wouldn't switch anything out.
Yep. Well,
Um,
actually, no, I would. I would switch out probably one of the songs towards the end with When Emma Falls in Love. I really enjoyed that one. So
yeah, that is a good. Okay, I'm gonna make you do it then. Which song would you switch out for When Emma Falls in Love?
well, part of me wants to say Speak Now, but I feel like you have to keep that one in.
You'd have to change the title of the album.
Yeah, the title is now When Emma Falls in Love. Probably better than. I don't know. Well, for me, I guess The Story of Us. I think I'd switch them out. But I know that
Fair.
that's not a popular take. But then the other one would be Better Than Revenge. Maybe Never Grow Up. You know. So.
Okay. I think that's fair. It doesn't matter if you have a popular take or not. It's
I know
your take. This is your podcast.
You're right. You're right. That's true. This is Speak Now, Rebecca's version.
Yeah, this is Beck in hand, not everybody else in hand. Taylor's version. Yeah, I liked. Okay, I think like I was saying, I don't have a ton to say about them other than I enjoyed them, but I see why she left them out. I think my favorite
but I'll let you
vault song was Electric Touch.
My favorite was When Emma Falls in Love, obviously. But Electric Touch, first of all, it's funny to hear Patrick Stump enunciate his words. He does not do that in Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I know what he's saying.
But this song musically made me think of like You Belong With Me. Like this sounds like it was kind of like a rough draft of You Belong With Me. Like it sounds like it belongs on Fearless.
Yes, it definitely has a different like. I couldn't put my finger on it. I was like, it sounds like that helps me a lot, actually. I was kind of surprised that Electric Touch and Castles Crumbling didn't sound more punk, considering the features.
Right.
Which I think.
Well, Castles Crumbling makes sense given what Hayley Williams' style is as a solo artist and what Paramore's doing now.
That's true, actually. And like, I think she just included them because she said like these were my influences back then and still now, but back then especially, which I think is so fun. But yeah, okay. And then your favorite was When Emma Falls in Love, which is one of my other favorites of the vaults.
I will say it has the opposite effect on me. Like the verses, I think are amazing. Like I think they're really well done. Chorus, needs a little work. Not great, in my opinion.
The only problem I have with this song is that when I first listened to it with my sister, in the bridge, she says, when Emma falls in love, I'm loving it. And my sister went, I hope McDonald's gets a writing credit on this.
No, well, on Genius it says, when Emma falls in love, I'm learning.
Maybe I misheard lyric there.
I will say, my first thought while I was listening to this song was, Taylor, you wish you were Emma, don't you?
It definitely, or sounds a little bit like she has a crush on Emma. One of those two to me.
Oh, okay, Taylor. You do you, girl.
But, you know,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna contribute to any of that discourse because no.
yeah, yeah. I like it. I think it's a cute song. Big fan.
People think that it sounds like it's inspired by Drops of Jupiter, which I love that song.
Interesting.
My mom music, I gotta listen to
Your
it.
train.
I loved Train.
Hey, I had a train phase when I was like 11, and then I heard one of their songs on the radio later, and I was just like, why? Why did I like this? Rebecca, you're stupid.
Maybe we should listen to a Train album.
I don't know.
You don't want to do a Train album for the podcast?
In the future, not now.
Okay, do you have any other thoughts about the vault tracks?
I Can See You is a little horny, Taylor. Okay, makes me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, people keep talking about it.
I'm looking. Castle.
Interesting to note that she says, I can see you up against the wall with me. And what album did we just talk about recently that has a song called Up Against the Wall?
Oh.
Who has been connected to Taylor?
Okay.
Hmm.
I've heard that this is about John Mayer though, so who knows?
Yeah, I've had to. Who knows?
Right,
It doesn't
yeah.
really matter that much.
Yeah, who cares? And then the only other thought I had about the vault tracks was I did not like Castles Crumbling at all. I thought it was boring.
To be lyrically, I thought it was good, but music, like listening to it, I was kind of like, I wish that this sounded a little different.
Yeah.
And I think Haley sounds really good on it. Like vocally, they sound good, but it was kind of just like, I think you're right. It's kind of boring musically.
Yeah. This comment on Genius says, okay, but what if there's no bridge because all her bridges burned to the ground?
Maybe. I do hate and like am devastated by her saying, you don't want to know me, I will just let you down. You don't want to know me now. I'm like, oh, stop.
That's emo.
That makes me feel emotions.
Oh,
I hate it.
I'm like over here like, okay, Taylor. And you're like, I'm sad. This affects me.
I'm affected. Like, yeah, I get it. And like, this is same with her on Long Live, and like we were talking about earlier, like the ego thing, where she's like afraid she's gonna get such an ego that her castle will crumble.
Yeah. Oof, that voice crack though.
Okay, so let's do some wrap up questions. Your overall impressions of this album.
The beginning is really good, and then for me personally, it just kind of falls apart after Dear John.
Okay. You like Through Dear John the best, and then
Yeah.
after that, you're kind of like, whatever, I'll take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Okay. You said Dear John was the best song? Or no, you said Mine was your favorite.
Mine, Back to December, those are my two favorites. No, and Dear John. I really like Dear John.
But
So,
you would cut
I would cut
Speak Now.
No, Story of Us, I think. Well, yeah, Story of Us, because I don't know. I haven't listened. I listened to, I revisited Story of Us a couple times to be like, why am I not liking this? But I only listened to Speak Now once, so I can't really say. I just know the lyrical content's cringy for me. But Story of Us overall, I just don't like, so I'd cut that one and replace it with
you came back to it.
In Love, yeah.
Be sure. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I think I would, if I was pressed to cut, this is one of these albums that is hard for me to cut from, but if I was pressed to, it would be Speak Now. I'm like, kind of don't love that song.
What would the album? See, you know what? You could cut Speak Now, and I think Enchanted would have been a good album.
Enchanted would be a great title, or Sparks Fly, honestly.
And you could keep the same like dress pose. I would think,
Oh, definitely, especially with because everything goes with a theme.
Mm-hmm.
You could call it Enchanted and then tell everyone that they have to be enchanted or something instead of.
Or you could call it. You could call it Speak Your Mind. Cancel John Mayer.
Yeah, And well, and then like in her she did Reputation. She doesn't have a song called Reputation, so she could still call it Speak Now.
This is my third album. Men are creeps, but also I
Yeah.
love men.
Yeah, it's a long title, but it works.
She's you know what? She's going back to her influence, Fall Out Boy, and just bringing it back to 2006 with the long song titles.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Favorite. Did you have a favorite lyric?
Yes. You're the best thing that's ever been mine, or the one about the smile in Sparks Fly. I can't remember, but I really like that one.
Yes. I see sparks fly.
Is that what it
Can't even
is?
remember that. I see sparks fly whenever I see you smile, or whenever you smile.
That one's good.
That was so hard for me to get out. I must be tired. Did you have a favorite musical moment?
The bass in Haunted was nice. I could really hear it, so that was kind of cool. Just kind of listening to it being played. I wrote in my notes the bridge in. Shoot. What bridge? The bridge in Mine, I think. I really enjoyed that musically.
The bridge in Mine. What is it like?
I want to say I wrote down the tom beat, so I love a good tom beat. Screw cymbals, throw in more toms.
That's true. You are a long time. You have gone on record, tom beat fan.
That's right. Look, when I think about because I've been thinking about Taylor Swift a lot this past week, and when I think about You Belong with Me, I don't remember it musically because I have this own version with the bridge that's just a tom beat, and I'm pretty sure it's in the song, but in my head it's like all I can think that the bridge sounds like, and I'm like, it's so good. So yeah,
Beck was a tom beat, big tom beat.
Yeah,
girl.
Okay, yep, I sure am. Forget cymbals, man. We don't need cymbals.
We don't need them. We just need tom beats.
That's right. We got toms.
We got toms. I think for me, I don't know what my favorite lyric is. It's hard for me to say, but I think musically, oh gosh, I love the orchestra in Haunted. There's like a drum moment right before the chorus in Enchanted that if I'm blasting that song in my car, I'm like boom 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 boom,
I
get it.
I like in the original Enchanted really swells and it sounds really good. In Taylor's version though, the verses it's filling your ears, and then it's the way it's mixed in the chorus, I can't describe it. It's different, and I don't like it. It's it's filling the room, and then in the chorus it's like you're hearing it in front of you instead of all around you. So it's mixed weird.
To listen to it back to back. I have heard people say that if you have to change your settings in Spotify for some reason. I don't really know if that's true. I listened to it and I was like,
I didn't think you could change. Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, is that even a setting?
I'm trying to think what other musical moments. Of course, the guitars in Dear John. And in Long Live, some good guitars. Yeah. Okay, we're at our final question. What grade would you give this album, Beck?
B+.
The B+?
Yeah.
This is an A for me.
That's fair.
I can't not give it an A. I love this album. Top to bottom.
Is this a no skip album for you?
Well, here's the thing. If I want to listen to it, if I let myself get into Mine, I won't skip Mine. But if I'm on shuffle on the Taylor Swift Complete Collection playlist on Spotify that I listen to frequently, if I'm on shuffle on that and I hear I'm like, I don't feel like listening to Mine right now. Yeah. But if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen to Speak Now, it is a no skip for me. I have to just get about 30 seconds into mine for me to be okay with it.
I would say mine's beginning reminds me of You Belong With Me. I don't know if it's just like the drums or what, but I heard it and I was like, she wears short or short whatever. I wear and I'm like,
Shorts.
I couldn't remember if it was shorts or skirts.
She wears shorts. I wear tennis shoes. Is what you just said.
No, I said
You're-
t-shirts.
We're gonna make a Swiftie out of you yet. Just wait.
Look, I saw this Tumblr post back in the day. It was like, she wears shorts, I wear long longs. And I
Yep.
just think that's so funny.
I've seen that.
So
Long longs is so funny.
I always sing that now. You know, I've sang it with you.
Okay, well, I think that kind of covers our experience of this album.
Yep.
I don't really think I have anything else to say. Do you have anything else to say about it?
No, I don't. It was, I'm not a Swiftie. I thought for a second I was gonna convert when I've heard the first like 3, and then I was like, never mind.
Fair enough. I wonder if you listened to this and you took out just the songs you didn't like, if you'd be like, okay, now I'm a Swiftie.
Yeah, I mean, she's got good songs. And I think the older I get and the more I listen to them, it's like Taylor Swift is like ABBA for me. The more I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, this is good.
It's like, oh.
Because like as like a high schooler and college kid, I was like, Dancing Queen's okay, I guess, but every other song by them is like so lame. It's disco. And then I was like, wait a minute. No, musically, this is pretty great. Like this there's stuff here that makes this great. And so that's kind of where I'm at with Taylor is the songs that I do know, I'm like, yeah, okay, it's not like my favorite thing in the world, but like also, it is kind of a bop.
Yeah, and then, I think that's fair. Like, I listening to Boys Like Girls last week, I was like, there's a lot of like really great musical moments on this. These might not be my favorite songs. I might not come back to them a lot, but there's some good stuff here, and I'm glad to expand my horizons a little bit.
Yep.
Although apparently not as much as I thought after learning so much how connected they are.
It all makes sense now. Everything, or it's a small world.
Honestly, a lot of my music taste, a lot of the music I listen to is because Taylor talked about them at some point. Like, that's why I got into Train. So, anyway, okay. Well, this has been Speak Now.
Yep.
Beck and Hands version.
Yep, that's right. Don't know what we're doing next week. Haven't really figured that out yet.
Yeah, but I think next week it's your turn again. So we'll go back to. It'll be a Beck pick, and I'll bring my thoughts.
I know. I'm like, man, what I want to, because I probably should like let you know by like tomorrow, so you have enough time. Do I want to keep going down like childhood? Who knows? So.
Well, we'll see. Maybe we'll keep doing childhood. Maybe we'll get to some high school albums. Maybe not. We'll see.
Oh, I could send you some. Some of the stuff I listened to in college, if you heard it, you'd be concerned for my well-being.
Well, I already am.
Good to know.
I'm excited to get into some high school stuff, I will say really quick, especially because my favorite band just announced that they're releasing a 10th anniversary version of their first album that I adore. So
okay, well,
it's very exciting for me.
Maybe the next 2 weeks we can do like albums that were defined our high school years for us or something.
Some high school albums.
Yeah, high school albums, not High School Musical albums.
We can hit that too if you're ready.
That's true.
For it.
That's true. Rachel earlier today.
That's coming.
Rachel earlier today was like, I heard you recording your podcast last week, and I was like, oh, did you hear the part where I talked about how the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory album was technically the first CD I owned? And she was like, no, but you guys should cover it in your podcast.
We totally should cover it. I've never listened to it.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, have you not seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Seen it.
And
oh,
well, I mean, it's just the songs from the movie.
Well, we have to cover it. We're gonna put it on our list.
Out of context of the movie.
Yeah, we have to. Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Well,
Yeah. Well,
this has been Beck in Hand.
that's
Thanks
right.
for the conversation about one of my favorite albums. I had a good time with this.
You're welcome. Well, I will see you next week. Ooh,
All
that's
right.
something I say to my client. That's a therapist. That's a therapist sentence right there.
You and I'll see you on the flip side,
Let
Beck. How about
let
that?
me turn my back to my computer so you get the full therapist Rebecca effect.
You turn around so
See you
fast.
yeah, see you next week as I'm walking away.